What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail and title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about should the Charlotte Hornets go for potential or impact player now in the 2025 NBA draft with the 4th overall pick. That doesn't necessarily mean they stick and pick it for. Like, for example, if they're trying to go more win now, it would be smart to trade back, get a few assets, and then still kind of get the guy you want? Or should they, go for, the long term and get a high potential player? I'm going to keep it simple. No matter what reason you win 19 games, if you win 19 games, you have a lack of talent. As simple as that. You lack talent. And we saw that, like, people, we were missing a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. We were missing a lot of players. But we just don't have the backup talent at all. We barely have the starting talent, let alone the backup talent. And I feel as though we need that. I feel as though I like the teams that are built like with the 15th pick and the 13th pick and the 7th pick and the 10th pick and the 20th pick. Like, I like teams like that. And, of course, I love when second round players pan out. I like teams built like that. And you look at like the Pacers, you look at the Thunder. Chet and technically Benedict Mathurin are the only like top 5 players. I say technically because Ben Mathurin's like 6, but still, that's close enough. We have 2. We have 3, actually. We have Tajon, we have LaMelo, we have Brandon. And, so for those 3, those are high pick players. And they're performing, well, 2 of them are performing like it. We need everybody else to catch on. And for the Hornets, we're in this weird situation where if we just get some good, solid rotational players, we're in the playoffs. Our whole mindset as an organization, as a fan base, completely changes. But we still only won 19 games. And I think that you are at a risk of potentially having a team implode. And in that position, I think you have to shoot for the stars. Because you never know when LaMelo's going to be like, all right, enough is enough, man. Like, enough is enough. And not just him, like, in general. Like, you never know when our last year with LaMelo will be. And I just say that because he's the best player on the team. And obviously, I don't see Brandon Miller going anywhere anytime soon unless they literally fire sale everybody. But we don't know how much of LaMelo we have left. So I could understand like wanting to trade back and get a guy like Khan, or just, we're going to take him anyway. And the only people are willing to move over from 6 and are only offering like, so, you know what I'm saying? So then maybe that's why you take him at 4. Khan right now to me is the player out of like the 4 main ones that everybody's talking about. He's the one that day one, he can help you in some way, shape, or form, particularly with his shooting, which is something we desperately need. And if you want to win now with LaMelo Ball, that is a good option. But we only won 19 games. LaMelo can't stay on the court for whatever reason, whether they're trying to tank, whether he's hurt, doesn't matter. Brandon Miller still can't dribble, and he is coming back with a wrist injury where he hasn't been able to do a lot of basketball activity. I'm still kind of out on Mark Williams. We don't really have like that next guy. You can look at Miles, but he's on a 3-year deal. Next year will be the 2nd year of that deal. And while that money's declining, how impactful is his play really to the team? I think that Miles is not being utilized correctly, and I think that's part of the reason why he's not performing. But at the end of the day, he's still not performing. I think that if we get him to lock in as this 3rd guy that some days scores 20, some days you score 4, but you also have 4, 6, and 8, and you have like a good plus minus, like a 12 plus minus, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. I think we just need to like lower the usage, it was hard to do last year because everybody was out, but lower his usage and just have his minutes just be more impactful. I think there's a path there. I just don't understand like kind of what's the disconnect for him getting there, because even with the short amount of time we had him with LaMelo and Brandon, he still was trying to like just take these bad jumpers and just, try, and that it could be the system, but he tried too much to be this player that he's not. And even though he has shot well at times in the past, that's not who he is. I like him as a drive playmaker where he gets to the rim, kick it. Like he's a very underrated passer, but right now we cannot get him to buy into that. And then even that, there is not a world where he's better than Brandon and he's better than LaMelo. we need to shoot for the stars and potentially get guys. I'm not saying that we should look to replace Brandon and LaMelo, but if I'm picking in the top 5, that's how I'm thinking, because we're in the top 5 for a reason. Should have been 1, should have been 2. Either way, it's like we should have. There is a reason we're top 4. We're not good. And even though I think LaMelo's an all-star level talent, even though I think Brandon Miller's an all-star, all-NBA, same with LaMelo, all-NBA type level players, they haven't done it yet. I mean, obviously it's because we've been bad, but you get the point. If I'm drafting in the top 5, I'm thinking I want someone that could potentially, maybe one day, replace who I think is my best player now. Not replace as in I get rid of them and then keep this guy. It's more so this guy is my number 1 option. LaMelo Ball's a hell of a 2 option, and then Brandon Miller is a great 3 option. Not saying that's how it'll play out, but I feel like that's what you have to go with the mindset in when you lose 19 games and you really don't have any true, real talent outside of 3, maybe 4 players, 5. You know what I'm saying? It gets sticky. It gets sticky because Trey Man's coming off an injury. Brandon Miller's coming off an injury. Grant Williams is coming off an injury. So yeah, it's just it gets really tricky when you get past like 3. Because even though I say like LaMelo's not being used correctly, I still think he's a talented player. So you are looking. If I'm drafting top 5, I'm not looking for who can best fit with LaMelo, who can best fit with Brandon, who can best fit with Miles. I'm looking for. I want to try to get a home run that can be better than all of them. If he's not, guess what? My 3rd option is this guy I drafted. You know what I'm saying? So you want to shoot for the stars, hope that they, become this great all-time, great player. But if they, at their worst, they're this. That's where I kind of think the Hornets are. I don't think we're ready for the low ceiling, good player, even though it makes the most sense. I just don't think we're ready for it, because if we lose LaMelo Ball next season, we're left with Khan, whatever compensation we got for LaMelo. And I'm saying if we chose Khan, but we're left with Khan, Brandon Miller. Is that how you really want to start your next era? Like, not really, not really. And this is based off obviously without any of the new guys, any of the rookies playing a second in the league. So maybe that changes by the end of their rookie season, but. I would rather have a VJ. I would rather have an ace. I would rather have a Trey Johnson paired with Brandon Miller if, things just fall apart and the team implodes like I think we're very close to doing and we have to trade LaMelo, whatever. But also, I would like that we keep LaMelo, keep Brandon, and then we have Trey, VJ, Ace be that 3rd. They don't necessarily have to be 3rd, but they're just last to come to the team. They're to be that 3rd guy where all of them can score. I think Brandon Miller still has the defensive upside, even though he wasn't as good defensively as he was his rookie year. I think all 3 guys in that we're mentioning, Trey, Ace, and VJ, they all, VJ obviously has the highest defensive potential, but they all have something to make you believe they can be competent on defense, and that's really all you need in today's NBA. You definitely like those lockdown type players. That's where I see the 2nd round or late first round where you can't shoot, but you're going to be an all NBA level player. And then with our spacing, maybe we put you in the corner and you can slowly develop a 3. Like that's kind of where I look at those guys coming from. If I'm looking at top 3 or top 5, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for who can be the best overall player when it's all said and done. And I'm trying to get those guys. And if they're better than my best player that I currently have, fine. But now I have LaMelo Ball as my 2 option. There's not too many better 2 options in the league if that were to happen. I'm not saying it will, just saying like that. That's just kind of the mentality I would go in with. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. I can see the value in trading back in terms of like trading back, you get a Con, and then you also get draft assets, and then next year you get a Cam Boozer. Not him specifically, but you get what I'm saying. And then now we're really cooking. And then now you have even more assets. And it's not like Khan's a trash player. I think he's far from trash. I think right now, if I had to rate him compared to everybody else where they are right now and not thinking about what they could be in the future, Khan would probably be 3 on my board. If I'm looking at what do you do for me right now? I'm picking these guys over potential, who has the highest ceiling. And that's where I think that's where he falls. But then even then, to me, he's like right after whoever's last between Trey, VJ, and Ace. So he's not a bad compensation at all if you were to trade back. Same with Kamal Malawaj. I don't have him as high as Khan, but still, he's a very, very good settle piece while you go to next year's draft, which is completely loaded, and then go from there. So it does depend a little bit on what the Hornets are doing. If Jeff Peterson said we want to win next year and mean it, then Khan kind of goes up on my board, because I think that if you're trying to win next year, that's your mentality. Next year, you start to get the ball rolling. He's a really good option. Everybody else, I think, is going to take a year to, maybe even 3 for them to really be the true impact that you see in their film today. So, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time.